Hello everyone, good morning. So today we'll be again back to our leave application. So I was getting a few of the questions from on the YouTube that they want more details on this leave applications. Okay, so again, like it's a kind of a revision. Okay, so we'll again build this application. So whatever we learned in the few, like in few of the videos or few of the sessions, we'll try to enhance those learning. Okay, we'll try to enhance how we can incorporate more details, more and more details. Okay, so if you remember what we had learned, we had a leave applications where we have one case type apply leave, and then we had the data type employee where we were like, so employee will be abstract data class. Okay, so this is again, I don't know if you have heard. If not, then this is a new term for you. Abstract means that data will not be stored. So employee data type, data model, okay, will just act like kind of a bean. Okay, where will data will not be stored, just that it will provide a data like kind of a structure that okay, we have a py work page and inside that we have employee. Okay, so basically we are formatting a data structure. Okay, and then so we'll not be using, like will not save this data. Okay, so in general, if I just explain you in a single word what is abstract class. Abstract class means this class won't have any instances. It won't have any instances means we are not going to store anything to this table. Okay, I mean class means the table, because in Pega we can map a class to a table. So this employee class, okay, employee data class will not be a map to any table. So that is where the abstract class. What is concrete class? So we have two type of classes, abstract and concrete. So concrete class is where we will be stored some data. Okay, so we will have some instances. Okay, so in case of employee and leave details, we are just using this to present data on the UI. So we'll not be creating like in concrete class, we'll be creating abstract class. And the third one, applied leaves, or I can say approved leaves. So we will be storing this. Okay, and that is where I mentioned that concrete class. Okay, and now so if you see this one, employee details will be pre-populated. So as of now, if you remember, we were filling the data manually. Okay, even the employee details. Okay, but in any organizations, most of the time employee details will come auto, because your details is stored already stored okay, into the organization's database. Okay, employee will only enter the leave details. Okay, that he wants to leave for this date. Okay, and this is the type he wants to apply for the leave. Okay, and then once the leave is approved, okay, we'll be saving the data. Okay, so today we'll be learning these things. Okay, how we can pre-populate the data. Okay, so in real time the data will get populated from some external system or from some database. Okay, what today we will be doing, but the process will be same. Okay, even like let's say in using a database, you are browsing the details from a data page, or you are browsing from external system. Today what we will be doing, okay, we will be populating the data from the operator page itself. Okay, operator page means, let's say you were logged into this application. So when you log in, okay, to Pega applications, you'll have operator ID, right? So operator ID means the basic details of your like first name, last name, your email address, your phone number, your designations, everything. So from there only, let's say in your like organizations also you have leave applications. Okay, so when you log into leave applications, okay, you'll have some ID, right? So with that ID only, we try to populate those details. Okay, and we'll showcase in the read only. Okay, and in the next leave details we'll enter that. So let's first understand. So today maybe we'll have a multiple sessions. So the first things which we'll be learning is the pre-populating of data. So let's see how we can pre-populate it. So again, I have created that leave applications, and I don't have created approval because the question was, if you see, this was the questions I got it from one of my viewers. Okay, so I'll not like we will talk about the approval process later, but for now let's see how we can pre-fill the data. So before going to pre-fill the data, I'll show you how the current case type looks like. So this is the employee ID form. Okay, so we have employee ID, we have first name, last name, email ID, phone number, designation. So let's say we have to pre-populate this data. How we can do that? So if you're a beginner, so just think, okay, I don't know, like, so here if you see the structure of the UI is we have a flow action. Okay, if I just show you, if I do this live UI, so if you see we have a py create harness. So in Pega, like, mostly we're using, so if currently py create harness, and then we review and perform where the human can interact with the system and do something. Py create harness is where, like, this is the kind of a pre-case creations part where we are creating the case, and then review where, like, someone can review the case in read only, they cannot act on it. Okay, so the harness is the top layer, and then inside that we have a flow actions. Okay, flow actions, again, it's like a sorry, flexions where you human can interact. Okay, human can interact with the systems. Okay, like we have some assignment, okay, in the flow action. So wherever we talk about the flow actions, that means we have configured the assignment in the flow shape. Okay, so here we have enter employee details, is that flow action. Okay, so and then section. Okay, so we'll open from here, we'll open the flow action. Okay, so let's see. So if you click on this one magnifying glass icon or this one, then it is saying open in Dev Studio, so it will open in Dev Studio. So let's open that. Now if I here go to, so the flow actions rule is opening, so we can do many things to this flow actions rule, but what we'll be learning today is that how we can pre-populate the data. Okay, so if you go to action tab, we have something called pre-processing and post-processing. So let's learn about pre-process and post-processing. In pre-processing, what we do is before loading of the UI. Okay, so let's say you are going to some of your relatives homes. Okay, so while going you are carrying something like that. Okay, so while loading your screen, I'll be calling pre-processing, and post-processing is while navigating away from this screen. So once I'll submit, okay, once I'll submit this, click on continue, then post-processing will call, and then once I'm trying to create a case, then it will pre-processing will load. Okay, so let's say, so now what we'll do, so the naming convention we usually give is that pre and then the flow actions name. So we can simply say pre enter employee details. Okay, and we'll create. So here we can call multiple things. Okay, so the first things we can call is the data transform. Okay, and then we can call activity also, and then robotics also we can do. So definitely we're not going to learn robotics. Activity is a similar things, the way we'll call a data transform, but activity will not learning today. We'll be just learning data transform, because Pega is also not promoting much activity, because it's like it will throw a warning if you're doing for a simple process. And here we are going to just set the details. So here we're just going to simply set the value or pre-populate the employee details. So let's create the rule. So a question was coming that, okay, show us how to create a rule also. So see, if you don't know much, okay, see, if I have to create from here also, I can click and then create. Okay, so then new things is coming, and then to create a most of the rules you need a application context means, and then the class and the rule set. Okay, and the version. If you're using branch, then maybe you don't need this version. Okay, but these minimum details, and then definitely the rule name you need it. Okay, so the moment you'll click from the here, okay, so it will take the context and it will take the class auto. But if you're creating from here, create, like from here also we can create data model and then data transform, then class, it won't take, the system won't take the class, and you need to fill manually. And then the details also, the name you need to fill, it will auto take the rule set details, the first rule set from your application stack, and rest of the details you need to fill. Okay, so for now I'll create that pre-enter leave employee details. Okay, so if you remember, we had a property, we have a property called employee details. So employee details is a type of page. So basically this page is, with this page type of property, we are referring to employee data class. So if I show here, if I go to apps and click here data in work only, so if you see here, we have that employee property. Okay, in data model we have employee property, which is referring to data class. So if you see here, data employee referring to data class, and in this class we have this property designation, email, employee ID, first name, last name, and mobile. So if you see through a single page, okay, we are referring to that class, and we'll try to access all those details. Okay, so to do that, how we can do that, we can say update page. Okay, because this is a page type property, and now we need to set all those values. Okay, so as I mentioned initially, that we will be setting from that logged in operator. Okay, so now question is, where we'll get those details? So in Pega, today then that is we are learning the new thing. So in Pega, when we logged in, okay, what happens, Pega creates a system page called operator ID and set this entire details of that operator. Okay, so if I come to here, just uh, collapse this user page and go to system pages. If we go to system pages, we can see that we have operator ID page. Okay, so this is the page which holds the entire details of operator means that logged in user. So here we can see that the first name, last name, and everything. Okay, so let's see. So we can search that. See, we have not set the value, but yes, those properties are there: first name, py, last name, and other things. So from this only, we will be taking that value and mapping that. So let's learn how we can do the mapping. So employee ID. So first let's put this side, okay, that what is our destination. So our destination is first name. We'll see how we can map the source. Let's first map that all the property, last name, and then we'll have another like email, then mobile, and then we have last one, destination. So now if I open operator ID, okay, so we'll see that we have these details. Okay, in this operator we don't have, so maybe we can enter something. Okay, so we'll just keep something here. And then okay, so let's just save it. Okay, so now these property we are going to refer, and I have already created an operator ID. Okay, so if you see here the what all actors, so actors is this one, the John, okay, with the employee ID 1 2 3 4 5 6. So he's going to apply the leave, and then the manager Simon is going to approve. Okay, so I have already created this two operator. So let's first do the mapping. Okay, and so how we can do that. So now, as I mentioned, that we are going to use this operator ID page. Okay, so we how what we have to do is we have to copy this operator ID. So we have to exactly use in this way. Okay, operator ID. So we can map it in pages and classes. Sometimes it is required, sometimes not, because this is a system page. So Pega sometimes recognize that as well. Okay, and then we have to give the class of this. So we'll see somewhere pxobj class also for this page. Okay, but I know this is the page, so we have to give this page name. Okay, pages and classes. Now from this one, so this page is like a kind of object of operator ID. Okay, and then we can give operator ID dot py first name. So I know you can ask a question that how should I know that this is like the first name will hold in the first name. So how you can understand is that you can do it like this. Okay, so here we have first name. So see, py first name, py last name, you can see py username. So this is how py positions, this is how you can find out the property. Okay, and then map it there. Okay, and then we have the py email addresses. Okay, so this is one way. Another way is, okay, you can go to this page, operator ID page, and from there also you can learn and do that. So from here also you can search that. Okay, but from here little tricky, so better you can do it from that using live UI. Okay, so let's do that quickly, try to map it. And then we have py last name, and then for operator ID, so if you see again it's a little complicated for that operator ID one, email one. So we can open the sections also, and from there also we can copy it. So I'll show you how we can do that. So we can simply copy it from here also, that what has been mapped. Okay, so we can just simply copy this one, and then we'll come here. In email we can give like this, and then again operator ID dot py telephone, and then the last one py position, so operator ID dot py position. Okay, so now we created this rule, so we'll save this so now if I just hit down, okay, see, we can see that rule. Okay, if I just hit a down arrow in keyboard, we can see pre-enter employee leave details, pre-enter employee leave details, and then save it. So now I'll go ahead and create a case, and let's see if that this data is coming auto populated. So I'll create a fresh case again, and this time we can see that employee ID is not coming because we have not mapped it. So we'll do that again. So we'll just do on top employee ID, and then this will come from that. So this property holds that py user identifier. Py user identifier is that property which holds that the operator ID, okay, through which we log in. Okay, so now if I just cancel, I'll say continue, maybe I'll continue and then come back, then see, we got this one. So let's log in with that operator ID, okay, which I have created for this part. Okay, so I'll copy this URL, I'll come here, I'll paste it, and then I'll copy this value and then password rules. Let me see. I've created operator ID, so I'll just update password. Okay, so we are logged in. Now let's create a case. Apply leave we have. So see, that entire details is coming, whatever I had mentioned here. Okay, say this details is coming. So this is how we are pre-populating. So currently we are pre-populating the data from that, like the operator ID logging page. Let's say that you have a requirement in your applications, okay, not to populate this employee details but to populate any details. So instead of in this one, this mapping, so basically your destinations will be same or the similar way, and your source can change. So this source can be from the operator page, or it can be from the data page, or it can be something else. Okay, but this is how you can map and pre-populate the data. Okay, so let's quickly refresh what we did. Okay, so we to pre-populate the data, we went to flow actions, and in flow actions we configured a data transform. In data transform we set the details from operator ID page. Okay, now let's say we want to make that read only. Okay, so how we can do that? Okay, because now currently all those fields are coming as a table. So if you have to make that read only, okay, so how we can do that? So again, what we'll do, we'll open the flow action and we'll go to section. So the one way is we can make it editable one by one. Okay, if you see here, like read only. So but we'll not do that one. So we can do that each property. So if we do, we have to do for all properties. So what we can do, we'll see that where this sections has been referred. Okay, so because that entire employee details has been referred from one place, so somehow rule referencing is not working. So we'll go again from here and we'll open the main section and their employee details. And then so this is our, this section is in our employee leave class, and from here we are referring that employee details section, okay, through that page, employee page, and we are rendering that section. So from here only we can make that entire sections read only. So we'll see that. So it's taking some time to load. Let me refresh this. Okay, so if I see here, once I click on the editable pencil icon, okay, we can see that we can we'll be able to configure the entire section as read only. So if we'll go in presentations tab, instead of auto we can say read only always, so then it will do the job. Okay, So now once I'll submit and then I'll refresh. So just click continue and then come back. So see, entire details is read only. So that is how we can load the data and then we can make it read only. Okay. So then next session we'll see how we can configure the dynamic value, because if you see, this was the questions which I received, that let's say you have a 20 sick leave and a personal leave 25. Okay. So how we can configure, and how also we can put a validation that in a calendar year you cannot apply more than this 20 leaves. Okay. So in next sessions we will be learning this one. Okay. So that's it for today's sessions, and I hope you'll be able to do this POC of loading the data, pre-populating the data. Okay, whatever the applications you are doing. Okay. So and that's it. Thank you.